14.4. In this screencast, I'll be explaining my strengths and weaknesses that were identified through me teaching my session. I'll be talking about the strengths and weaknesses given from my peers and the strengths and weaknesses that I thought were of my session. I'll also explain the changes that I made to my session as I was teaching it. Also, how I would change it for future references, and a course that would help me develop my skills in order to teach it better and more effectively. Then I will then set myself 3 SMART targets to achieve. So the peer review, they gave me 3 strengths, which was that I was confident, that I made eye contact when talking to the group, and that I stuck to my lesson plan. Then they also gave me weaknesses such as motivating the group, that I did not make clear coaching points, and I could not control the group. These were all found through my feedback forms that my peers completed after I did my session. So these are the 3 strengths and 3 weaknesses that they gave back to me. I identified myself after my session that my strengths were organisation. I was very organised. I had my lesson plan ready. I had everything ready. I had the risk assessment done. I knew which equipment, what I needed, and how I was going to set it out. I was very organised in that. I was very confident. Obviously, I'm quite a confident person that I can be loud. I can get on with the peers I'm teaching and kind of take that leading role and make sure that everyone understands, and not be scared to say like talk over someone if they're not listening or something like that. Another one of my strengths I saw within myself was that I was well adapted. So I had a few people in my group that were injured, some had back injuries and stuff like that. So I could adapt my session to their needs so they could still take part, but they just didn't do anything too heavy that would affect their injuries or anything like that. My weaknesses were time management. I didn't exactly stick to the timings that I said in my session, my session plan. Meant I ran out of time for a couple of drills, so that I need to become more time aware and manage my each drill and each warm up and cool down and set part of the session better. I need to include more different tasks within the session. So my session was very rugby based, rugby fitness based. So maybe I could incorporate a little bit of football or some circuit training type thing and make it a little bit more different, so they're more engaging. And this leads on to my third point, making my session engaging as well as me being engaging with the peers, as I kind of told them what to do and then kind of left them to it and didn't really engage with them, didn't see how they're finding it, and also need to make the session more fun and more appealing to them. So I changed 3 things within my to my session. So the first one was the size of the pitch. So I was meant to be making them jog round a rugby size pitch, but I changed that to a kind of a square, which I kind of measured out with my feet to make it a little bit smaller because it can get quite tedious running around a pitch. I changed the warm up to make it more fun. My warm up was just going to be a jog around the pitch, whereas I kind of included you have to jog down one straight, you have to then walk, you then sprint, and made it a little bit more changes paces, makes it more people have to concentrate more, which gets them ready for the drills and the session ahead. makes it more engaging and more fun. Like just jogging around a pitch is not very fun at all, and it would have like demotivated them for the rest of the session. I also changed the cool down. I didn't actually need to do a cool down, so it's because they were doing exercise straight after my session. So I just kind of got them into a circle and just asked them how do they find the session, asked them what they'd learnt, and kind of engaged with them that way. But I didn't actually do any cool down stretches with them. So I changed those three things to make the session more fun, more engaging, more suitable. I So like my warm up didn't really like go to plan. Like I didn't really want them to jog around the pitch when I actually got them together. So off the spot, I was like, I'm going to make them do this little square activity. If I was to do it again, what would I change? I would change the whole session. I'd do circuits instead. I find that it's more engaging and appropriate and easier to measure. So my session was very like hard to measure. It was very one sport orientated, like kind of fitness wise. So a circuit kind of works around all of the aspects that I needed. It's more measurable, so you can see when people are improving. It also makes things more simpler and easier to adapt to for people's personal issues. So that would make it like easier for both me and the participators. I also find that circuits are like well known, so people will walk into the session and know what they're doing and won't need like as much guidance as if they're trying to do a session based on a sport that they've never done before or never played for, or don't even have an interest. If they don't have an interest in that sport that we're doing fitness around, then they're not going to engage in it like a proper, for example, rugby player would. Because if a dancer's doing it, then they're not going to want to engage in it that well. So then the session doesn't become effective or useful towards them. A course that I could do to improve my leadership skills would be the Sports Leadership Level 3. This course allows leaders to build up on a skills such as organisation, planning, communication and teamwork throughout the medium of sport. It's a fun and practical qualification with the only entrance requirement being that you should have successfully completed the Level 2 award, also in sports leadership, or any of like level 2 awards in sports leadership or level 2 award in dance leadership, anything like that. The course takes 107 guided learning hours, depending on like your experience level and other factors can be incorporated into that. In order for you to complete the qualification, there is a part where you have to demonstrate 30 hours of leadership. These 30 hours are made up of 10 hours during Unit 2 and then so Unit 2 is the main like kind of unit you do within this course. So you do 10 hours in that and then completing another minimum of 20 hours over your 2 units that you choose when you're doing the course. Level 3 high sports leadership consists of 8 units of work, of which 7 must be completed. So there's developing leadership skills, provision of sport within the community, lead sessions designed to improve fitness, organise and lead a sports event or competition, legal and ethical responsibilities when working with others, lead sports activity session for children, for older people and for disabled people. So I thought this course would be very good for me, like improving my leadership skills in different situations, so with the younger children, with older people, with disabled, but also leading sessions that are designed to improve fitness, which is the main one that I would be focused on, since my session was meant to be based around fitness and improving. It would be more suitable and help me make my sessions more effective, more fun, more well designed. Yeah. I I also think that it would help me become more confident if I know what I'm doing. So if I know what I'm doing, I'll be right. You need to do this, this, and this, and be more motivating and stuff like that.